Traditional treatments for horse diarrhea and fecal water syndrome treat symptoms, not the root cause. I've been a horse veterinarian for over 30 years and have helped thousands of horses heal. Today I'll share with you the real causes of horse diarrhea and fecal water syndrome, plus how to identify each one and how to fix them forever. With both chronic diarrhea and fecal water syndrome, owners notice watery poop, often running down the legs and making the tail quite messy. It can be tough to tell the difference between them unless you know what to look for. So let's clarify the difference between fecal water syndrome and horse diarrhea, because while they look very similar, they are not the same. Then we'll get to the root causes. Here's how you can tell them apart. The main difference is that with fecal water syndrome, you will see correctly formed fecal balls. With diarrhea, you don't often see formed fecal balls. So if you're wondering, why is my horse's poop watery? The first thing you do is look for formed fecal balls. If you find regular looking fecal balls, you have fecal water syndrome. If you can't really find any regular fecal balls, you have diarrhea. Here are some additional symptoms that may be helpful. When a horse has fecal water syndrome, he or she often has greenish poopy water. He or she usually looks comfortable, happy, and healthy. And horses do not run a fever with fecal water syndrome. Now, I hate to mention this, but you should know horses can have both fecal water syndrome and diarrhea at the same time. This can be frustrating, but just realize there are two things happening. If you think your horse has both, treat the diarrhea first. I'll talk about treatments right after I explain the causes coming up next. Traditional veterinary medicine says both of these issues can be caused by a whole bunch of things, such as digestive system imbalances, like hindgut fermentation issues or microbiome disruption. Maybe it's feed or environmental factors like sudden changes in diet, sand ingestion, or poor quality hay, or parasites. Underlying conditions like inflammation, dental issues, liver and kidney problems. While all these may contribute a bit, they're not the whole picture. In fact, they're not even close. So let's talk about the real causes. The real cause is pretty simple. It's that the large intestine is not absorbing water. Remember that large intestine is 100 feet long, 100 feet to try and absorb water, but the body chooses not to do it. Why not? Because it is trying to get rid of stuff and dilute things that are bad for the intestine itself. Things like our usual stuff, chemicals, toxins, heavy metals, and the like. An example you might be familiar with is food poisoning. Obviously, this is an extreme example, but it's the same function. If you get food poisoning, your body's like, there's something bad in here, I must flush it out. And so it adds so much more water, but it clears it out very rapidly. Now with chronic diarrhea, same function, but it's occurring more slowly, so the body's continuously getting rid of problems that it's carrying. With fecal water syndrome, the large intestine is not able to absorb water. Why? Because microplastics are lining the intestine, blocking it from absorbing enough water. So even though these two issues look very similar, there's a clear distinction between their causes. With a different cause, there's a different treatment. By the way, this video is part of a series where I talk about different horse issues, their symptoms, real causes, and permanent treatments. Subscribe so you don't miss our next one on anhidrosis in horses. Okay, so how do you fix diarrhea and fecal water syndrome in horses? Traditional medicine recommends a few different things, such as feed changes or different supplements, even probiotics. All of these might get you a quick temporary fix, but they're not addressing the real root causes. So here's what I recommend. For chronic diarrhea, there's 4 things I recommend. First, get organic hay. I know this can be tough, but if we don't keep asking our feed stores and even the farmers to grow organic hay, we're never going to get it. The reason we need organic hay is because regular hay is just filled with pesticides, chemical fertilizers, and herbicides, and more. So all those things are toxic to the horse's body, and the body will do anything it can to get rid of this stuff, including diarrhea. Number 2, stop feeding bagged feeds. Even if they're not on a label, bagged feeds have chemical preservatives in them. Number 3, stop deworming your horse. I bet your eyes just popped out of your head when you heard that one. I know, I get it. But we've all been taught wrong. Parasites or intestinal worms are not hurting your horse. Parasites are there as the first line of defense against heavy metals. Parasites eat heavy metals. The horse needs them. And yeah, they might have a lot right now because there's so many heavy metals in the environment and in the feeds. Just don't worry about it. Your horse will be fine with worms. If you see a worm in the poop, it's fine. It's actually a good sign. The worm has eaten all the heavy metals and now it's being pooped out. When we deworm the horse, that overloads the liver because the parasites are no longer there to help out by eating heavy metals. Number 4, put your horse on an herbal liver support product for 60 days. This will help the liver clear out the bad stuff, the chemicals, heavy metals, etc., so that your horse does not have to poop them out with diarrhea. Any brand is fine. If you're looking for a recommendation, I recommend TBT Liver Revival. For fecal water syndrome, these 2 items will do it. First, we need to decrease the amount of microplastics the horse is getting as much as possible. Where are the microplastics coming from? Mostly from bagged feeds. Even if the entire bag is not made of plastic, most are, but even if they're not, they're lined with a layer of microplastic. Also, all the feed supplements that are in plastic tubs. This might be a big change for you and your horse. However, horses are really only designed to eat grass hay, as well as scrub, brush, fibrous grasses in the wild. Horses are not designed to eat grains at all. Grains actually change the entire pH of the horse's intestine, making the horse more prone to diarrhea in the first place. You want to give as many different types of grass hay that you can find. No alfalfa, no rye, no clover. And the second thing is we need to get rid of those microplastics that are already in the horse. The horse's immune system cannot do it by itself. What you do is use this product, TBT FWS Resolve. This product is energy-based. That means it can help release the microplastics from the intestine where it is lodged. Once the plastic is out of the way, your horse can absorb the proper amount of water. Please see the link in the description for the TBT shop. Okay, so that's the real causes and treatments for diarrhea and fecal water syndrome. Now, let's take a couple questions from the audience. First question, is beet pulp good for horses with fecal water syndrome? The short answer is no. Beet pulp is filled with chemicals. I know, on the internet it says beet pulp is washed several times. It's not. It's washed with chemicals. Please do not feed beet pulp to your horses. And our second question is, what supplements are good for horses with fecal water syndrome? As we've already talked about, the only supplement that's going to clear out that real cause, the microplastics, is TBT FWS Resolve. Also, if you have any questions from either this video or our next video, which will be on anhydrosis, and that's where horses can't sweat at all, please put them in the comments below. Okay, now you know how to take care of chronic diarrhea and fecal water syndrome. But by the way, I just want to let you know that any TBT practitioner, so TBT stands for Tucker Biokinetic Technique, that's my energy technique, but any TBT practitioner can fix any problem without using the products. TBT is for anyone who wants to gain the skills to get to the root cause of horse issues and behavioral problems and fix them permanently. If this is you, check the link in the description for more information about our university courses. Some of our students even use TBT not only to fix their own horses, but to fix everyone's horses and use it as a business. Check out this video to hear some of their success stories. Thanks for watching and see you next time.